Alright, we're going to add a Chalk Couture design to this chalkboard mason jar. You're going to need Chalkology paste, as many colors as you want, whatever colors you want. It comes in a wide variety of shades. I'm actually going to use this lime paste, school bus yellow, bubblegum, and white. You also need some squeegees. This is actually one small squeegee cut into a few smaller pieces. Some star sticks, and then your Chalkology transfer. So the Chalk Couture transfers come as one large sheet, and you just cut them apart on the lines indicated to make smaller pieces. This one's been used once. You can actually use these transfers up to 12 times, and actually more than that, possibly, but they are guaranteed 12 times by the manufacturer. So what we're going to do is start with this as our base layer, and we're going to layer this over the top as another color. So I'm going to start with this, and I'm going to start with the green. Now I do want to make sure, I want to do this first as far as the chalk paste goes, but I do want to make sure that I have room for the words at the bottom of the jar. So I'm actually going to put this on the jar and then put the cactus on, just to make sure that there's enough room for this. Alright, now we can lay that cactus on, and you can add it anywhere you would like. Just be sure to kind of center it up. And now you just want to make sure there aren't any air bubbles and that the transfer is adhered really, really well to that surface. So I like to go over it with my finger, just kind of feeling for any air bubbles and pressing down as I go. But I also like to use my squeegee to just go over it one more time, pressing down really, really well, making sure that Chalkology paste cannot get under there. Now we're using the Chalkology paste, which is a chalk product. When it dries, you will not be able to rub it off, but you will be able to reactivate it with water later and take it off this jar and redecorate the jar if you wish, and to use it for something else. Now, if I really loved this design and I wanted to make it permanent, I could use a spray sealer and seal that Chalkology paste and make it permanent to last forever. Chalk Couture also makes a chalk ink, and you could use it on any surface as well, and that's permanent when baked. So something like a mason jar, you could just throw it in the oven for about 30 minutes and that chalk ink would set up and be permanent. But I'm actually going to use a Chalkology paste. Haven't decided whether I'm going to seal this or not. That's the beauty of this product. Use water, remove it later, and come up with a whole new design for your mason jar. Alright, so I just stirred this Chalkology paste well, making sure to get up everything from the bottom. So as the paste sits, or during shipment, it can settle a bit, and it just needs stirred up. And then you just dollop some on your transfer, use the squeegee to pull it across, and then you can take any excess and just put it back in the jar, and you can use that again on your next project. So the more excess you remove, the better off you'll be. However, you do not want to let this start to dry, and it dries really quickly. So be really quick with your project, and then we're going to wash our tools and our transfer immediately after finish. So now that it's on there, we'll just peel it back and reveal that cute design. And there you have it. So the secret to layering these colors is to let this first one dry before you put anything over the top of it. So I went ahead and cleaned up my transfer, cleaned up my squeegees, cleaned up my stir stick while this is drying. And now I'm actually going to do these words next and let this get good and dry. You can also use, say, a hair dryer or heat gun over the top of this and get it to dry a little quicker. But we can actually just move on to the next portion of this transfer and work on it while everything gets good and dry. So this is the school bus yellow paste. And again, I'm going to open it up and stir it up. Now when you're stirring this up, it needs to be the consistency of, say, Greek yogurt or sour cream. If it's any thicker than that, you can actually add just a couple of drops of water. Do not go overboard. A little goes a long way. And just add those few drops of water and then stir it up to get that consistency you're looking for. Now, I did talk about cleaning the transfers a little bit, and what you do to clean them is just wipe them on both sides with a Clorox wipe and then allow them to dry, adhesive side up, and then just put them back on to the backing paper and they're ready to use again. So I just put a little bit of paste, and I actually probably did too much. Just put a little bit of paste on this transfer. Now, if you get this Chalkology paste anywhere where you do not want it to be, say I got it outside of the transfer area, it is activated by water and you can just completely erase it. You can also use something like a Q-tip. If you make just a small mistake on the transfer, make a big mistake, just completely turns out awful, just erase the whole thing with water and start over again. That's the beauty of Chalk Couture. Alright, so now I have my words on there. I'm just going to peel that back. So we'll just peel this back. And when you're peeling the transfer, either from the backing paper or from your project, be sure to pull either side to side or top to bottom and not diagonally, as you don't want to stretch your transfer. So there are our words. And I'll go clean up my transfer. So now I've allowed everything to get nice and dry. Nothing's going anywhere. And now it's time to layer our Chalkology paste. So I'm going to do this layer in white. So I'm going to peel this back from the backing paper. Now, if it's the first time you're using these transfers, this is actually the second time I'm using this one. If it is the first time and you're using it on a hard surface, like a mason jar, I would recommend to stick it to a bath towel before you stick it to your surface, just to pick up a little bit of fuzz on the back of the transfer and make it not quite as sticky. So right out of the package, brand new, these transfers are extremely sticky. So that just gives you a little less stick, on, especially on a hard surface. Makes it a little easier to remove when you want to remove it after you've completed your project. Alright, so we stuck it to the lime green cactus. So what you do is you just make sure it's absolutely 100% lined up and then stick it down. Again, go over it with your fingers, make sure you don't feel any air bubbles. Go over it with your squeegee a few times, make sure it's good and stuck. And now we're going to add some white Chalkology paste. So here we're just going to repeat everything that we've done before. Now we're just going to let this dry and add flowers. So I'm just going to add a couple of pink flowers with some bubblegum Chalkology paste. And these are actually so small. These little bitty squeegees work great. And you can probably just do them both with a little dollop. Allow that to dry. Plant in a cactus and your cute little cactus mason jar is complete.